Have you ever noticed that whenever Unrivaled wants news to hit the blotter, it magically appears on ESPN.com? Have you ever noticed that whenever it's something good in their opinion or something that they want to push as a narrative for Unrivaled, it magically appears on ESPN.com and written by Kendra Andrews pretty much every single time Unrivaled wants to push some narrative? And that's what's happening right now with this valuation that they released today via Kendra Andrews. Think about it for a second, people. WNBA owners are not dumb. They're not gullible. They're not naive. They're mega millionaires and billionaires for a reason. And the WNBPA the Players Association is trying to now spin a narrative that Unrivaled is actually a real competitor to the WNBA. Well, if that's what they think, then they should just go play an Unrivaled and not worry about a CBA, and they should all leave the WNBA. It's not a hard thing to do, right? But we all know that's all bogus, and we all know it's bullcrap. This $340 million valuation, a 10x valuation of the initial cash investments that they received for Unrivaled, 10x in 7 months after they lost $8 million in their first season with no overhead of travel, no overhead of hotels on the road, no real overhead outside of the facility and housing for the players and salaries. And they still lost about $8 million in their first go round. Maybe they consider that success. Maybe they have a different version or idea of what success is. Because in no world have I ever heard that losing $8 million or 25% of your initial investor's investment, would that ever be considered a success? Let's talk about it. I know I said I'm not going to be doing much on the WNBA outside of Caitlin Clark, but this crap is so ridiculous and so preposterous. And some of the videos that I've seen today are making my head hurt. So I want to take a few seconds to educate on valuation and conflict of interest, because conflict of interest sure as hell exists when it comes to Unrivaled, the WNBPA, and everyone involved. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. We talk facts for our feelings. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Shomont. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. If y'all recall last year, they got $35 million in initial investors. $35 million. How they convinced a whole bunch of people to give a whole bunch of money to a 3-on-3 women's basketball league, beyond me. Woke USA. I mean, goodness, I can't even understand how desperate TNT must have been, because they knew they were losing the NBA and they had to fill their time slots with shit like this. So Unrivaled released a post today or Monday about closing oversubscribed Series B investment round, bringing league valuation to $340 million. Okay. So a bunch of people gave you money, and that's now how you determine the value of your league. That's what you're telling people. A league that couldn't draw 1,000 people into a building, 850 was your capacity. There were lots of empty seats every single week after the first couple of weekends. A league that's viewership was half of what the WNBA viewership was. At a time where there was very little competition outside of the NBA. And they try to convince people that that was a successful year. Okay. So now they have a list of new investors. The new investors in this round include Bessemer Venture Partners. Remember that name. Serena Ventures, that's Serena Williams. Trey Young, I guess Trey Young likes giving money away. Daryl Pines and Sylvia Pines, Sam Rappaport, Franz and Mo Wagner, who play in the NBA, Next Legacy Partners. It says, we've had the privilege of backing many category defining companies, and we believe Unrivaled is building the next great sports league. That's Bessemer Venture Partners. And there are other organizations who are doubling down on their investments. Warner Brothers, Discovery, Alex Morgan's Tribe Ventures. It's Warner Brothers Discovery and Alex Morgan's Tribe Ventures double down on their investment in Unrivaled. Okay, how much money did Alex Morgan really give? Can we Alex Morgan, the U.S. soccer player? I mean, can we? She has a net worth of about $3 million, based on what it says on the internet. So how about we say it's 4 times that? How about we say that 3 million is wrong and it's 4 or 5 times that? 15 million? How much money is she giving to Unrivaled that she's doubling down? Warner Brothers, again, how much money did Warner Brothers give them? Point being is evaluation is largely bullshit. Evaluation, and I'll take any one of you finance guys or gals to give me an education on it, but I remember watching a valuation for the university for a booster for the University of Miami. Company that was valued at $32.5 billion. The valuation. This company got sold on the stock market, on the exchange, and the initial share value, I forget what it was, but it was more than $10 a share. I think it was like $30 a share, $32 a share. I think that was like $32 a share. Within 18 months, that company basically is bankrupt. The valuation of $32.5 billion, those shares were trading for less than $1 within 12 to 16 months. Now, I'm not saying that they're selling stocks on the stock market, but who exactly is getting what? 100% of what? Company's 100%, right? How many shares do they have in this company that they're just able to divvy up so much, right? They're not on the stock market, so what's the actual value of these shares, of this ownership? What is the value that the players have? They've never told us what the players are getting. They've never told us what the percentage is for each player. They've never told us what the TNT percentage is for giving them basically free TV rights. Giving them free TV. Well, free TV. It wasn't free rights, but giving them basically free TV. So how much does TNT own in this venture now? So this is where remember that name I mentioned, Bessemer Venture Partners. Unrivaled president Alex Bazell, we all know Nafisa Collier's husband, said the valuation was negotiated with Bessemer Venture Partners. So a company that invested in your company is the one that told you how much your company is now worth. People, really? Really? The company that invested in your endeavor is now telling the public what the company is now worth. Again, I need my financial people to come in here and tell me that I'm wrong. But how can the company that's investing in your company now be the one that tells you how much your company's worth? That seems like a massive conflict of interest, right? So this valuation and additional funding expedite Unrivaled's growth strategy. What is the growth strategy? 3-on-3? 5-on-5? What is the strategy? It's not been revealed. To play in more than Miami? Well, that requires real money. Why do you think the WNBA can't survive? Why they can't make any money? because they have actual bills to pay besides player salary. Bills to pay. There's actual rules in place, i.e., salary cap, player union, players union, and salary caps, travel expenses, employees. How many employees really work for Unrivaled? Keep it a bug. Not very many. How many people work for every WNBA franchise? A whole lot. You're paying a lot of people that are not just players. I did not go to one Unrivaled event last year. Tried to get credentialed, didn't get it. They never even responded. That's fine. How much security do you think they really had at an event with 850 people? What do you think their security cost was? Just think about that for 1 second. The security cost. I've hosted basketball tournaments that drew more than 850 people. I personally hosted basketball tournaments that have drawn more than 850 people. I can tell you one of my events probably drew about 2,500 people. High school. And I think I had, if I recall correctly, 3 or 4 police officers there. How many police officers do you see at typical WNBA games or NBA games for that matter? 30, 40, 50? Those are costs. So what exactly is their strategy? and they're going to expedite their strategy now because, yeah, that's right, there's a CBA going on. It's very convenient that this article manages to come up, this post comes, all this stuff comes up with a month as they're going into the playoffs, and they know the writing is on the wall that there is going to be a lockout. The writing is on the wall. So now they're pushing this shit out to the public, pushing this out, making it seem like, oh, yeah, I don't have to play in the WNBA. Okay, then don't. Then don't. But here it says, because we outperformed our revenue expectations in season 1 by almost doubling it, it allows us to move a bit quicker. It's become a 3-year roadmap instead of 5 years. In year 2, we are finally going to double down on the athletes. So wait. Let's continue. Unrivaled will use some of the funds to increase the venue space it has in Miami, adding a 15,000 square foot for player facilities, including a second practice court. Oh, they didn't really practice. So I guess they have another space for people to make TikTok videos because they only practice like 1 hour a week, 1 hour, maybe 1 hour a day, or who the hell knows. They were usually on boats and doing everything else but practicing, as you can see in the product. 150 seats to the game arena. Wow. So now you got a whole 1,000 people who can go watch this bad basketball. Okay. Okay. The average salary will remain at 6 figures. Last season, players earned an estimated average of $222 and also received equity in the league. That's inaccurate. The players that were the first 36, they said, received equity in the league. The replacement players did not get paid $222,000, and they did not get equity in the league. That's from their own mouths last year. It was the players who actually were the beginning of it. But again, equity of what? A debt? Investor money? Because that's all you got right now is investor money. You doubled your expectations in revenue. How exactly? You lost $8 million. So you were expecting to lose $16 million? That's what you're telling me? That's what you're telling people with brains? Yeah, maybe you have more revenue because TNT got scammed into this bullshit and you scammed a whole bunch of sponsors into this shit. How many insurance plans or car loans or bank accounts did Ally open up because of Unrivaled? I can't imagine very many. They are largely majority shareholders, said of the players. They're going to reap the benefits of these growing valuations, not just, oh, congrats, good job, and you'll get better resources. Our whole brand ethos is coming into effect and improving itself in a short amount of time. This is a Ponzi scheme, people. Allegedly. This just sounds like Ponzi scheme 101 to me. This just sounds like Ponzi scheme 101. Get new investors to pay your prior investors. How much are you going to pay these players? How much did Sabrina Ionescu make? I know she didn't make $222,000. I'm going to guess she made 5 times that. So not everybody made 222, 222. Not everyone made that. There are people that were under that number. Why don't they release the salaries that they paid every player? That's what happens in the WNBA. That's what happens in collectively bargained organizations, unionized organizations. Do you think that this shit right here is going to continue and never have a union, a players union? The players own what? A piece of the rose, a piece of the vinyl, a piece of the lunar owls? This is circus shit. I don't believe any of it. And you shouldn't either. And now they talk about who the new round of funding is. I mean, I guess Trey Young and Franz and Mo Wagner like giving money away, and University of Maryland president Daryl Pines like giving money away, and the sports exec Sam Rappaport like giving money away. And I mean, Giannis, Carmelo, Steph, Gino Ariema, Coco Gauff, honestly, they all gave money away. Again, this is money that was used to pay players and pay bills. They made no money. Where are they? They made no profit. Kind of like the WNBA. They made no profit and they went nowhere to play. They played in Miami for an hour, for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 nights a week. Their referees are probably paid less than the WNBA referees. This is circus shit. There were people that I saw on the scorer's table that I happen to know when I watched it on TV. I saw people. Some of them were school teachers. Dead ass. Involved in sports, but school teachers. How much you think they're paying the school teacher to do the book or do the stats or do the clock? What do you think they're making? Unrivaled made approximately $30 million in revenue in its first season, a league source told ESPN, which is double what league officials had projected. Yes, because you utilize Caitlin Clark's name to sell your league. And that's sponsorships. Those are sponsorships. That's what corporations sponsored your organization with. Advertising on TV, I guess. Because advertisement in the building makes no fucking difference when there's only 850 people there. Go to a basketball game in an NBA, 19,000 people, 18,000 people see all the ads all around every time they go to a game. There's a big difference. Advertising on TV, most people tune out commercials now. They don't even watch them. The league's multi-year media rights deal with TNT and its corporate sponsors sponsorships include Sephora, Ally, Under Armour. They likely account for most of that number. Yeah, exactly. You think that TNT didn't get something back for that TV money, that TV deal? You think TNT paid to put that on TV? I'm asking y'all. Y'all smart. You think TNT paid Unrivaled to put that shit on TV? Knowing that the ratings for everything that Caitlin Clark was not on were still largely garbage? Or they scammed TNT and said, yeah, we're getting Caitlin Clark. Oh, big mistake. How much does Alex Basil make as the president of Unrivaled? Why isn't his salary disclosed? Is he working for free? Unrivaled, the front office members also said ticket and merchandise sales were strong. They put stuff on sale that sold out because they had very little of it made. Ticket sales? It sold 850 seats. Like, whatever, man. After raising $35 million in funding through investors and funding seeds before the season, Unrivaled nearly broke even in his. See, they've changed their story now. Before it was $8 million, so it was about $27 million before. Now they've bumped it to 30 million. They still lost $5 million even based on this. Apparently, nearly breaking even is $5 million now. That's a new number for me. And they project to turn a profit now. How are you going to turn a profit? Charge these sponsors more for less people to watch? Unrivaled last year was largely a gimmick, something new. Things that are new eventually do this. They go downward. Your excitement should be at the beginning, which it marginally was. But in the case of Unrivaled, it wasn't close to the viewership numbers that Caitlin Clark was putting up for Indiana. Wasn't close. It was like 6 times less on average early on. And then we saw as it went on, it got progressively worse. The highest rated thing they had was the damn one-on-one tournament, which was largely horrible. But that was their highest rated event. A one-on-one tournament, not the games, but a one-on-one tournament. So I want to know where this profit's coming from. More sponsors? I'm sorry, more investors giving their money away? Okay. That they can now say they have a $340 million valuation, which is essentially what the value of a WNBA franchise is basically worth now. The league averaged 221,000 viewers on TNT and True TV during its first season. With the championship game between the Rose and Vinyl drawing 364,000 viewers last season, WNBA averaged at least 1 million viewers in a record 22 regular season games. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever. Why don't you put up those games they averaged like 100,000? There was game after game for like 7 straight weeks, they didn't draw 200,000 viewers, but yet somehow they got 221 as their average. Pretty remarkable how 6-7 weeks of 90,000, 120,000, 130,000 somehow gets averaged out to be 221 when you add the one-on-one tournament, one game at the end, and the first weekend at the beginning. I don't even believe the 221, to be honest, because we were tracking this shit left and right last year. And they only drew 221,000 fans, like 4 times the entire 2.5 month period. But again, valuation. Bessemer Venture Partners, the company that's putting money into this, is the one that's giving the valuation. Come on, people. Y'all smart. I give you $5 into your business, and now I tell you your business is worth $50,000. Does that sound real? Are you telling me that there's been $340 million in investments into this league in round 2? So 35 million in year 1. Now they done raise another 300 million. Notice they don't tell you the number. They're playing the game, man. And they think people are stupid. The problem is you're dealing with billionaires. And the billionaires aren't stupid. They're going to call your bluff. They're going to lock you out. And you can go play an Unrivaled. And let's say that Unrivaled magically raises contracts for these players to 400,000. Okay. Will that be enough to make you quit playing in the WNBA? Will that be enough to make you not care? They can put out all the photos of all these college kids on Unrivaled. You can do it all day. So they're taking all this money from venture capitalists to pay college kids to endorse their league. NIL money. Think about this. You have pros, and they don't want to they don't pay the pros to be endorsers of the league. Pros. Oh, they get salaries to play in it, but they can't be, getting endorsement deals by this league, right? I dare you to name the people that are on these NIL deals. I bet if they showed you pictures of them, you wouldn't have any idea who most of them were. You wouldn't have any idea who most of them were. I promise you. This shit is comedy to me. It's absolute comedy to me. Why don't these young players just say, screw the WNBA, just draft us into Unrivaled? Good luck. Wish them the best. This shit's a circus. And I've seen these videos. We're talking about valuations. I highly recommend you. Again, I need the financial people to tell me I'm crazy because I sure as shit know. I watched what a valuation was a few years back dealing with Miami Hurricanes football, and I saw that valuation disappear, disappear because it was based on nothing, based on nothing. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Oh, by the way, before I get there, and Caitlin Clark, just say no. I don't care what they offer you. Just say no. You don't need it. They still don't like you. They'll pay you to fuck you up. They'll pay you to smash your ass in that fucking game because they don't fucking like you. So whatever they offer you, just say no. If it's anything short of 20 million a year, tell them to go fuck themselves. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. This is Her Game, Her Way Women's Basketball, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.